Hey there friends, how's it going? I'm Austin, and Warzone has been out for a few weeks now, and everybody is getting a better understanding and knowledge of the game. Overall, people are beginning to be a lot more comfortable with Warzone and its mechanics. So after putting in some playtime, myself, I've been able to come up with some valuable tips and tricks to help you guys become better at Warzone. At the beginning of the game, you're going to have many engagements if you land at a hot drop, and you won't have custom loadouts yet, so it's important to know what the best common loot is to give yourself the best chance of making it out alive. With shotguns recently being nerfed, this is a huge boost to all fast fire rate weapons for close quarters combat, and early game engagements are mostly close to mid-range. So this is going to make SMGs and ARs your most reliable weapons. And the top two weapons in these categories is the M13 and MP7, in large part due to them both having a fast fire rate, sizable clips, and low recoil. Then moving to the other side of the spectrum, the MG34 is one of the worst due to its slow handling, and this makes it a poor close quarters weapon. Just look at the clip on screen. It's better to keep your starter pistol than picking up the MG34 because you can pistol whip them before they can even aim down sight, so the handling stats really hurt this weapon. If you can't get the best weapons at the beginning of the game and get knocked, you'll head to the Gulag to have a 1v1 fight to get back into the action, so it's important you know a couple of tactics and mechanics to help you win that fight. First, you regenerate health in the Gulag, which is different from the regular gunfight mode that it's based off of. However, on CallOfDuty.com, they say health doesn't regenerate in the Gulag, so I'm not sure if this is a bug in the game right now and it's going to be taken out or not. But for now, be aware of health regeneration. It's going to be key in winning your fights. Then one of the easiest tips that I can give you is to spray paint your opponents before battle, because this will help them stand out in the low light prison, giving you a slight advantage. If you spray paint them a bright color, they're really going to pop out. Make sure you're always checking your minimap because it is one of the most important things you can do while playing Warzone. The minimap provides you with so much information and you might not realize that it's there. First off, any player shooting a weapon without a suppressor near you will show up on the minimap as a red dot. Or when you call on a UAV, players without the ghost perk will also show up on the map as a red dot. Then when an enemy gets into a vehicle, whether it's a car or helicopter, it's going to show up as a big red icon on your map, making it easy to track. And the reason this is key to notice quickly is because vehicles are extremely powerful within Warzone. All vehicles will knock you out with one hit no matter what speed they're going. And I'll give you a counter for that later on in the video. But let's move on to the next point. The biggest tip for using the minimap is to zoom in about 75%, as this will make it much easier to see what is going on around you, including precisely where the red dots are popping up, what location they're in, as well as seeing where contracts are so you can get them and complete them to get more money, and then you'll also be able to see shopping cart locations so you can buy your loadout drops, your self-revive, your gas mask, whatever you want. The shopping cart has many useful things in it, and most players want to buy a loadout drop first. However, this is the wrong move. You should always buy a self-revive as soon as you can. Many times, enemies won't cap you as they're fighting off the rest of your teammates, allowing you to get off your self-revive. It saves your life all the time, and it can turn around any engagement for your team to turn a loss into a win. Lethal and tactical equipment are two of the most important things in Warzone that you may not be putting a lot of thought into, and you should be. There's a couple options for both slots on your custom classes. Starting with lethal, thermite and C4 are the only two options you should be even considering. Thermite is most effective being used offensively, by being thrown into doorways to block enemies from passing through without taking damage, and giving you a chance to heal or use it as a distraction to attack. Then C4 is by far most effective being used offensively. It is most effective countering vehicles because it destroys every car within one hit or trucks within two. C4 makes people think twice about trying to run you over. Also, anytime you see a claymore or bouncing Betty to loot, just pick it up and throw it down somewhere. You never know, it might hit someone later on in the game, especially if you put them down next to shopping carts. Moving on to tactical grenades, the heartbeat sensor is by far the best to use. It allows you to check to see if anyone is within your surrounding area or building. It informs you, giving you a leg up on your opponents. One of the most influential parts of Warzone is the attachments you have on your weapons in your custom loadouts. The two most important attachments are the monolithic suppressor and thermal scope. The monolithic suppressor should go on all of your weapons because it makes it so when you fire your weapon you don't show up on the radar or the minimap. It also gives your weapon increased range, meaning the damage drop off doesn't happen as quickly. The reason those two stats are so important is because of the size of the map in Warzone. And sometimes it's difficult to spot your enemies while you're on the move or even stationary, and the thermal scope makes it that much easier to spot your enemies at range. And it's key to have this on all of your snipers, because when you're using a sniper, it will be at mid to long range, making it vital to have clear vision. Perks are very important within Warzone. All perks give you some type of advantage. However, not every perk in Modern Warfare works in Warzone, so it's key to pick a viable perk in your loadout to make sure it's actually helping you. I'm going to tell you the best perk to have in each slot, starting with slot 1. And if you guys remember my tactical equipment and attachments, you'll know how powerful the heartbeat sensor is, as well as the thermal scope. But there's a counter to them with the cold-blooded perk. Cold-blooded makes it so you don't show on the heartbeat sensor or in the thermal scope, so this is a must run. Just look at this comparison here. The one on the left has cold-blooded and the one on the right doesn't. You can see the difference in how easy it is to spot you. Moving over to perk slot 2, it's a little bit more complicated because there's two perks you're going to want to use. First, you're going to need overkill, so you can have two primary weapons where you'll want one of them being an SMG or an AR, and the second being a thermal scope sniper. The only problem with this is that then you can't run Ghost, meaning you'll be shown on the minimap when an enemy UAV is called in. The way around this is by getting two loadout drops. But before you do this, you're going to have to make two identical classes outside of the second perk, where one has overkill and the other has Ghost. Then you're going to have to pick the overkill class first in the loadout drop, and then after you do that and you throw down the second loadout drop, you're going to pick the class with Ghost. And then all you have to do is re-pick up your sniper and drop the pistol. Now for perk slot 3, there's a couple that aren't bad, but Tracker is by far the most useful, and this is because it gives you a couple advantages. The Tracker perk makes it so enemies leave a footprint trail for a short time, and they're just bright orange, so you'll know if an enemy's just around the corner or just left a spot. And then it also lets you see skull icons on the map where enemies have died, letting you know that an enemy team is near. Both of these are just little advantages, but they make all the difference in the world to help give you a little bit of an edge in the match. In-game is one of the most challenging parts of Warzone because it's where the most congestion happens, with the zone pushing in and there being little cover sometimes. So how you play it with your positioning and movement is vital to your success. In the clip you're going to be seeing on screen right now, you're going to notice that we are sticking on the edge of the zone as a team even though it's moving in. And this is due to the fact that it allows you not to have to worry about anyone being behind you to shoot you in your back, giving you one less area to worry about. Everyone else in the lobby will be in front of you. You can do this easily because the zone is moving in extremely slowly, that even your walking speed is faster than the zone movement. And this allows you, the experienced veteran, to stay calm while some of the other players in the lobby freak out and try to run into the zone without any cover, letting you pick them off. And this is going to lead you to win drastically more Warzone games.
Let's go! Boys!
You may not pay that close attention to your settings, but there's a few key things you can do to help your gameplay. First, your game automatically has film grain and motion blur on because it helps the game look more cinematic and makes you feel more immersed. However, this is bad because it makes it harder for you to see enemies and lock onto them while moving. I'll show you the difference on screen right now. It's going to improve your gameplay just by putting film grain to 0 and disabling motion blur. then this might be the most important setting change, and that is switching your minimap from a circle to a square. The square minimap is about 20% better, and you guys already know how important the minimap is from earlier in the video, so making it bigger and giving you more information is vital to your success. The last setting change is only for controller players, and that is to have tactical button layout. This switches your crouch button from B or circle to the right analog stick, and this allows you to not take your thumb off the analog stick while sliding or crouching, allowing you to still aim. The less you take your thumb off the analog stick, the better. Then, while I was trying to film this part, showing the difference between the settings, this guy started attacking me out of nowhere. But we still got him. He can't mess with this video. A quick tip for everyone who only has Warzone and not the base game. In the pre-game lobby you get XP and weapon XP for killing enemies, so take advantage of that and level up your weapons and just your character to get more attachments and perks for your classes. This last tip is a guaranteed way to increase your KD. One game when I was away from my console, my friends just started up, and when I got back, I was just on the ground next to another person who was AFK, and I got a free kill. It's basically almost guaranteed that at least one person will be AFK every game. However, this definitely won't help you win at all because you'll probably be in some obscure location like I am in this clip, and it's not going to help you get any weapons, any money, but if raising your KD is more important to you, then go for this tactic. I hope everyone enjoyed the video and learned something new. Let me know if any of these tips were helpful or if you have any other tricks to help improve players' KDs and victory percentages in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.